How's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. Hope you're having a good day, and welcome to another Pokémon Go video. Today I'll be going over how you can easily defeat Giratina Origin Forme and possibly pick up its shiny form. This legendary Pokemon is one of the best Pokemon in the game for a number of reasons, and the addition of the move Shadow Force makes it that much better. I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know for this raid boss in this video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Okay, let's talk about Origin Forme Giratina. So this legendary Pokemon is often considered one of the absolute best Pokemon to have. This is because it is extremely powerful for raid battles, but it is great for pretty much every other aspect of Pokémon Go. You can use it to dominate most Team Go Rocket battles, gym battles, and the Master League of the Go Battle League. To make things better, Giratina recently received a brand new charge attack that elevates it to even higher levels. This move is of course Shadow Force, and it is an extremely powerful attack. Thus, now more than ever, Giratina Origin Forme should be prioritized really high whenever it is in raids. Unfortunately for some, this Pokemon is not exactly that easy to take down in raids. You will want to be sure you are bringing enough trainers and the right counters in order to defeat it. So let's go over that right now. Origin Forme Giratina is a Ghost and Dragon type legendary Pokemon. It is going to have a weakness to Dark, Dragon, Fairy, Ghost, and Ice type attacks. Since it has that Dragon typing, it is going to have a ton of resistances. Giratina double resists fighting and normal type attacks, while having regular resistances to Bug, Electric, Fire, Grass, Poison, and Water type attacks. This means that if you are lacking in any top counters, you will still want to avoid going with any neutral damage Pokemon. There is a high chance that Giratina will resist those attacks. But in terms of what counters you should bring, you should consider bringing either Mega Gengar, Mega Houndoom, or Mega Latios as the Mega Evolution, while loading up the rest of your team with Rayquaza, Salamence, and Palkia. The most ideal setup would be to have a Mega Latios with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, and the rest of the team consisting of high IV and high level Rayquaza with Dragon Tail and Outrage. This squad will deal the most raw damage to Giratina Origin Forme, so consider using them against this boss. Now, this list of ideal counters are pretty heavy on legendaries, which not a lot of players will have that are raid ready. If you're looking for budget counters, consider bringing either Mega Gengar, Mega Houndoom, or Mega Absol as the Mega Evolution, and a team of Salamence, Hydreigon, or Garchomp. With all of these dragon types, you will want to make sure you roll with dragon type attacks, maybe with the exception of Hydreigon, as both dragon type and dark type attacks will work against Giratina. Now, even though dragon types are the most ideal against Giratina Origin Forme, you will want to be careful. Since dragon type Pokemon are weak against dragon type attacks, your raid attackers might get devastated by some of Giratina's moves. It can come with the moveset Dragon Tail and Dragon Pulse, both of which are serious threats against a dragon type team. I would suggest making a backup team of dark types. Maybe you can work with a bunch of Darkrai or Yveltal on your team if the recommended Pokemon are showing little to no dragons. This would indicate that the raid boss is going with dragon type attacks, which would be devastating to your dragon type Pokemon. Now, if you're looking for the perfect IVs of Giratina Origin Forme, you will want one with a CP of 2105, and if it's weather boosted, you will want one with 2631 as its CP. Getting a perfect IV of this Pokemon is absolutely crucial, as it is a very powerful pick for the Open Master League. You will also find this Pokemon to be extremely useful in raid battles and other forms of PvE content, so having IVs that are at or near the perfect 100% will take you really far. What makes this even more important is the release of the attack Shadow Force. This Ghost type charge attack elevates Giratina Origin Forme to near meta level. It is insane just how powerful this Pokemon will be with the addition of this move. Therefore, it is imperative that you try to get the perfect IVs for this Pokemon, especially a weather boosted one, because that will save you a good amount of candy and Stardust when you max it out. Giratina Origin Forme is going to be weather boosted by windy weather and foggy weather. Unfortunately, both of these weather types are pretty rare, so don't always expect to get yourself a weather boosted one. However, if you happen to have either of these weather boosts in your area, then you should definitely go after this raid boss. Giratina Origin Forme is also really strong compared to most other raid bosses. It has really good defensive stats that could make it difficult to take down with a small group. I suggest going with at least 6 total trainers that are at least level 35 and bringing Pokemon that are powered up to around level 35. If you want to challenge yourself with the fewest amount of trainers as possible, then it could be done with a raid party of 3 trainers that are at least level 40. You will want to be sure to bring 1 Mega Evolution each with the corresponding dragon types that would benefit from it. You will also need every boost to your damage that you can bring. This includes friendship bonuses, weather boosts, and maxed out Pokemon. So yeah, now that we covered how you can defeat this raid boss, let's talk about how you can get its shiny form. This Pokemon's shiny form was originally released on October 9th, 2020 as part of the Halloween season. It made its return to raid battles after a long hiatus on October 27th, 2022, which is probably the date when you are watching this video. Getting this shiny is pretty straightforward. You will want to raid as much as possible because this will be your best odds for getting this shiny. The shiny rate from raids is typically set at 1 in 20, meaning you are rolling a 20-sided die every time you complete one of these raids. Based on the law of averages, you will likely come across the shiny form at least once after completing roughly 20 raid battles. However, this is not guaranteed by any means. It could take you anywhere from 1 raid to several dozen. You really can't do much, but do as many raids as you can. I do think, however, that this shiny form is definitely worth pursuing. It is an extremely relevant Pokemon for both PvE and PvP content, and it is not a raid boss that often makes its way to Pokémon Go. Whenever it is in raid battles, then it is definitely one you should raid as much as possible. The shiny form is also probably one of the rarer shiny legendaries in the game, considering that Giratina Origin Forme hasn't been a raid boss too frequently after the shiny was released. Therefore, you could probably get a really good trade out of it. You should definitely try to get multiple ones for your lucky trades, as it is a popular pick. Yeah, it's always exciting whenever this Pokemon is a raid boss. There's always a large amount of raid activity within the Pokémon Go community, and you will definitely want to utilize that. Remember, getting this rare and awesome shiny is going to take a lot of raiding, so make sure you go out and raid whenever it is out. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Now, I would love to know your thoughts regarding Giratina Origin Forme. Was there a tip that I completely missed? Let me know down below in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list, so if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.